Online security. It can feel like this huge, tangled, overwhelming mess, right? But what if I told you there's a simple, powerful action plan to build your very own digital fortress? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today, step by step.
And man, this quote, it really hits home. The cost of just doing nothing is way too high. Because by the time you realize there's a problem, your identity could already be in someone else's hands. But don't worry. This explainer is your framework to lock down your online life, and we're starting right now.
And look, the key here isn't to become some kind of security expert overnight, not at all. It's about thinking like a castle builder. Your best defense is always built in layers, so if one wall gets breached, there's another one waiting right behind it. Together, we are going to build your digital fortress, one totally manageable layer at a time.
So, here's our blueprint. We're going to start with the foundation, your digital keys. Then we'll move outward to fortify your connections, guard your core identity, and finally, extend those protective walls around your family.
All right, let's dive right into layer one, the fortress foundation. This part is absolutely critical. I mean, think about it. If the locks on your individual digital doors aren't secure, the rest of the fortress doesn't stand a chance.
Okay, time for some real talk. Does your password suck? I mean, are you using the same password for multiple sites? Is it one you've been using for like 10 years? If you just nodded your head, that's the very first crack in your fortress walls that we need to fix.
Now this slide shows a really crucial shift in how we should think about security. For years, we were all told to create these super complex passwords with symbols and numbers. But here's the key insight. Length is always better than complexity. Why? Well, a computer can guess billions of short, complex combinations a second. But guessing a long, simple phrase, that takes exponentially longer. So start thinking passphrase, not password.
Okay, so you've got a great passphrase. Fantastic. That's your lock. Now let's add the deadbolt. And that's two-factor authentication, or 2FA. It's that little code you get on your phone after you type in your password. Even if a thief somehow steals your key, your password, they still can't get past that deadbolt. It is an absolute must-have.
So where do you start? Like right now? Here are the non-negotiables. As soon as this is over, go into the security settings of these accounts and just turn on 2FA. Your primary email is basically the master key to your entire digital life, so you've got to start there. Then lock down your money, your social media, and especially the password manager that holds all your other keys.
All right, with our individual accounts locked down, let's move on to the next layer, the connections themselves. See, it's not just about the doors, it's about the pathways leading to them. We need to secure the networks you use every single day, starting with the one right in your own home.
Think of your home Wi-Fi as your digital drawbridge. Most people just leave it down and completely unguarded. These 3 simple steps can dramatically boost your security. First, for goodness sakes, change that default password. Second, stop broadcasting your network name for the whole neighborhood to see. And third, create a separate guest network. That way your visitors' devices never even touch your main system.
But what about when you're outside the castle walls? At a coffee shop or the airport? Connecting to public Wi-Fi is incredibly risky. That's where a VPN comes in. It basically creates a secure, encrypted, secret tunnel for all your data, making it totally unreadable to anyone trying to snoop on the network. It's an essential tool for when you're on the go.
Okay, our accounts are secure. Our connections are fortified. Now we move to layer 3. This is about protecting the crown jewels of your digital self, your personal data, your identity, and your credit. This is where we get proactive, instead of just being reactive.
Okay, this next one is a brilliant and super simple hack. You're going to love this. The answers to most security questions, they can be found on social media or public records. So just don't answer them truthfully. Make up something completely random. What was your first car? Blue giraffe. What's your mother's maiden name? Purple monkey dishwasher. Then just save that fake answer in your password manager. Problem solved. Here's another really powerful tactic. Stop giving out your real email address. Instead, use a service that creates unique, disposable email addresses, they're called aliases, for every single site you sign up for. So if some online store gets hacked, the hackers only get a useless alias, not your real email. And if that alias starts getting spammed, you just turn it off. It gives you an incredible amount of control. And you know those expensive credit monitoring services? You really don't need to pay for them. By law, you get one free report from each of the 3 major credit bureaus every year. So you just stagger them, check one every 4 months. This creates a completely free year-round monitoring cycle that lets you spot any signs of identity theft super quickly.
And now we come to our final layer, and honestly, this might be the most important one of all. A fortress is only as strong as the people inside it. So this is all about extending these security principles to protect your family, especially your kids in this wild digital world. This number, it's genuinely shocking. 1 in 50 children become victims of identity theft. And you have to ask, why? It's because a child's credit is a clean slate, and the fraud can go completely undetected for over a decade, until they turn 18 and try to apply for their first loan.
And the solution? Thankfully, is right here. A credit freeze is the single most powerful defense you have for your child. It's totally free, and it literally locks down their credit file, preventing anyone from opening new accounts in their name. Yeah, it takes a little bit of paperwork, but it is an incredibly powerful defense.
So when it comes to managing your kids' devices, the 2 big players, Apple and Android, have pretty different philosophies. Apple's screen time is built right into the ecosystem, but it can be really restrictive, and as a lot of parents know, kids are pros at finding workarounds. Android's Family Link, on the other hand, tends to be more flexible, and it plays well with powerful third-party apps, which gives you more options. I love this analogy. Think of social media like a driver's license. You would never just hand over the keys to a 16-year-old, right? You start with a learner's permit. So, begin on your phone, together, so you can help train the algorithm. Then move to their device with monitoring tools. It's this gradual process of building trust and responsibility, always with that foundational rule, that their profiles are kept private. Always.
You know, at the end of the day, no tool, no app, no filter is as powerful as good old-fashioned critical thinking. The real goal isn't just to block bad things, but to teach our kids how to recognize them for themselves. Cultivating a healthy skepticism about emails, messages, and videos is a skill that will protect them long after they've left our home.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that your fortress, it isn't some project you finish over a weekend. It's about integrating small, consistent habits into your daily life. Every single time you use a password manager or think twice before you click on a weird link, you're laying another stone in those strong walls.
Because security, it's an ongoing process, right? Your fortress is never really finished. It always needs tending. So I'll leave you with this question. Looking at everything we just covered, what is the one small, actionable habit you'll build this week to make your walls just a little bit stronger?